Welcome to a celebration at the precipice of time, where the power of women knows no bounds. Experience her story unfolding, a reawakening of our collective consciousness to the monumental achievements of our foremothers, a tribute to the battles they fought, rights they've secured, and paths they've paved that women all over the world are continuing to navigate and expand upon. Her stories are unfolding, empowering growing, building legacies of pioneering women by sharing their stories, celebrating their accomplishments, and embracing the rights and privileges they've bestowed to us for generations to come.
Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much. We are so excited for the second day of Women's History Month, a celebration of the amazing women from all the way to the pioneering foremothers that we have, that who's won really battles and wars and boardrooms for us, to the women today who are creating massive contributions and changes out in the world. And today I am excited, very, very excited, because who I have today is an entrepreneur and a media and philanthropist who really is an example of, integrity. Talk about integrity and what LA Tribune stands for. I'm excited to bring on stage Rachel Weaver. Rachel, welcome to the Los Angeles Tribune. How are you doing this afternoon already?
Thank you so much, Ava. It's such an honor and pleasure to be here with you today.
Oh my gosh, Rachel, I am honored to have you on the stage of the Los Angeles Tribune. Being a speaker, an MC, an international best-selling author. And I love your story of how your integrity in media leads you, your heartbeat of bringing encouragement and positivity, really leads you. And your specialty, we call it specialty, right? Because it's your heartbeat. That's where your heart leads you. Where your heart leads you is where you specialize on in relationship and connection. And with that, I wanted to just honor that you have the most amazing connections in media. And I would love to give you on a stage right now a special guest that you're also bringing with you as a contribution to women all over the world who are watching us from Kenya, from Afghanistan, from different places, from Iran, who are watching us today. I would love for you to join us on the comment sections. And this can be watched on YouTube, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, and on X through our channels with the Los Angeles Tribune. So anywhere you can find the Los Angeles Tribune and type it up on Facebook and YouTube and LinkedIn, go ahead and you can find our live stream. And we would love to go ahead and have you, Rachel, introduce who you have on your guest line today.
Oh, thank you so much. I have a few very special guests that are going to be joining us today. I have Sara, who is an incredible entrepreneur, coach, mentor to so many people. I have learned so much in such a short amount of time from meeting her. I also have Simone with us. She is a therapist. She is a mentor. She's a speaker. She's been a host on television with the one and only Dr. Drew. She is an astounding person to be in my life. We also will have Anna Demergis, who is a celebrity realtor. She's an entrepreneur as well as an actress, producer. She does so many different things. I'm just so super honored to have you guys on the stage with me today, because we're going to talk a little bit about how we got to where we are. And I believe that the biggest piece of achieving the levels of success that women like you have achieved is relationships and connections. Mm-hmm. I believe the most powerful energy source that exists is connection. And a lot of people will argue with me about that, but there's been many, many studies on relationships and the depths of relationships. And do you know, one research study at Harvard University said that 90% of our success and 90% of our failure are all due to the relationships we have in our life. So we can succeed, or we can see the depths of failure, depend upon the relationships we have cultivated and nurtured in our lives. So, Sara, thank you for joining us. Please give the audience a little introduction of yourself.
Absolutely. I'm so happy to be here, and thank you, and happy International Women's Month, everybody. Ava, thank you for hosting, and Rachel for having us on. This is a month I get really excited about. So I wanted to be a writer for my whole life since I was a little kid. And then I got the message from teachers and others that I wasn't good enough. I wasn't destined for that. And I did something that maybe some of you watching have done, where I let other people decide if I was worthy of my dream. And I didn't realize that's what I was doing, but that's what I did. And so I went and took a job at this advertising agency, which wasn't what I really wanted, but it was a way to, be independent out of college and be sort of shadow creative. And I got in right at the height of the Me Too era. And so it was a really abusive, terrifying, toxic environment. And I spiraled into a mental and physical health crisis. And absolutely, I mean this literally, what saved my life was finding a book in the Boston airport one day when I was traveling for work back from Boston to Chicago, where I lived. And I read this one book, Holy Hunger by Margaret Bullitt Jonas. And by the time I finished reading, because one woman courageously shared her story of how she got out of a, traumatic situation, I left the job. I decided to spend the rest of my life paying that gift forward by writing my own books, by helping other incredible, particularly women who have an important mission and story and message and movement they're here to lead. And that's what I get to do now at Thought Leader Academy. I help incredible leaders, entrepreneurs, coaches write best-selling books, get on the TEDx stage, go out and change lives, and make sure that their book or their talk is in the airport when someone's having their dark day.
Wow, that is so profound. And look at you now. I mean, you have achieved so much, but it's not really even just about what you've achieved for yourself. Mm-hmm. It's about the lives that you have impacted along the way. Now you are a famous publishing company. You're a founder of a well-known, established publishing company. You're an author many times over. You're inspiring women and men, mm-hmm. and you are surrounding yourself with like-minded, successful, purpose-driven people. Yeah. And what do you think your past experience has had to do with today? Because I believe those traumatic experiences, the trauma, the abuse that we overcome, right? Yeah. How do you think that has helped you catapult into what you have become?
It's everything. I so believe that the nucleus of wherever the wound happens is also the way. It's a contained unit, and it's a call and response. And I see that in so many of the men and women that come in and write their books and go out and speak. So I think that I love this topic of relationships, because I didn't do anything alone. I didn't heal alone, have transformation on my own, write my first book on my own. Everything included being in relationship and learning to choose relationships. So I think that when I teach book writing, I have everyone write their origin story. And so it's just like superheroes. Batman's parents were killed behind the movie theater and he grew up to fight crime. Well, I believe each of us are doing what we're doing on the planet because of, it might not have been a trauma. It could have been a revelation. It could have been an amazing experience, but we're doing it because of something. It's not just random, right? Our purpose comes from somewhere. So I think it's wildly exciting when something that was really hard and challenging can turn and be transmuted through someone's talk or book into a life-saving, experience for someone else, or a life-changing, or a mind-changing, a mindset changing. And mentors and community. I remember driving around one summer, and I had started becoming an author, but I didn't know how to make any money. I was just stuck, and I didn't know that trauma had such an impact on earning, which I've now done research on and written a lot about. And it does, of course. And as I was getting ready for my breakthrough, the big shift of the breakthrough happened when I listened to Tony Robbins over and over on these YouTube videos say, your life, your wealth, your happiness, your impact in the world will reflect the 5 people with whom you spend the most time. And I took a hard look at my life, and I didn't have to abandon any friends or family, but I was not in the virtual or literal room that I needed to be in to stretch and expand and get over those limiting beliefs about my gender, about my trauma, about all this stuff, right? So it was just, it's everything. Rachel, we're here because we spoke at an event a few days ago in Florida and had a great connection. Everything is relationship. And I can't wait to meet Simone and, to connect more on that.
Yes, I love that so much. We're going to come right back to you with that. But I want to welcome Simone, welcome Anna to the stage. Hi. So
Hello.
happy to have you guys as well. Just to recap, we are talking about relationships, Anna, and the fact that 90% of our success or 90% of our failure comes from the relationships that are closest to us in our lives. And Sara, what a profound moment when you realized you needed to not necessarily exit them from your life, but understood you needed to shift and surround yourself virtually and physically with more like-minded, successful people. I say all the time, that I never want to be the smartest person that I am surrounded with. I always want to be learning. And there is no me without we. And I say that all the time, but it really is so true and so profound. And research shows time and time again, when we catapult those healthy, good, deep connections in our life and relationships in our life, we actually live a longer life.
Yeah.
We overcome illness faster. We're able to fight off illness easier, and we can go further. And so the saying of surround yourself with the 5 people you surround yourself is who you become is so profoundly true. So thank you for sharing that, Sara. Simone, I'm so happy to have you with us because I know you have had quite a journey, quite a story, and you show up helping people recover or overcome different things. I know you specialized in sex therapy for a long time, and that, of course, starts with a lot of trauma. Women have struggles with being sexual or living in their feminine because of experiences they've had in the past. And I know you've stepped in, you're an expert in so many different areas, including NLP and so many other things that are out there. But I would love for you to give an introduction of who you are. And then I have some juicy questions for you.
It's so lovely. I want to say it's so lovely to be here with such incredible women. Obviously, I know Anna and you, Rachel, and it is such a pleasure to meet you, Sara. And your story is really inspiring and inspirational. I love it. I'm Simone. I am a relationship therapist and mindset coach, and used to be a broadcaster in the UK when I was very, very lucky. People who were working with Dr. Drew Pinsky, who's a relationship expert and addiction specialist, saw me in the UK, and pretty much it was the Hollywood dream brought me over to the States. And since then, which was about 12 years ago, I've lived in the States. I've been hosting a radio show with Dr. Drew, been doing TV shows, advising people on relationships, advising women, young women, on how to enjoy their femininity, their sexuality, and how to have really strong relationships where they get to be an equal part in that relationship, which I think is absolutely key. And I love, Rachel, you talking about the Harvard study, because the Harvard study, there was one of the longest studies was, what makes us happy.
Yeah.
And this goes back, they did it over 7 generations, and it's quite a well-known study now. For those people who don't know, if you just Google, Harvard and happiness study, and it's a fascinating read, because it talks about what is the one thing that they found over 7 decades, interviewing so many people, that was the key, and that is connection.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely fascinating. In the same study, they said, I think it was about 60% of people in the US don't feel that their partner has their back. And so they're, we have a complete issue, but it's so important for us as women to lead the way with relationships, because it is something that we do so naturally. We have this wonderful ability of these soft skills in the masculine world and working world, and Sara will know this, all too well, and you, Rachel, as well, of course, and I know that it's the soft, it's named the soft skills, where we are empathic, and we share and we connect, and we're able to do wonderful things that are essential, not just for business, but for, what our companies, they are, individuals. So women, I think it's fantastic. We're here for Women's Month. We're here for, Women's Week starts on the 7th, I think, a few days away, and celebrating women and all we do and continue to do, and all those women who have laid the way for us to be here, I think is an incredible thing.
I absolutely love it. So, so true. You have so much expertise in this area, and you actually sit and mentor. You get the opportunity to mentor women, girls, even men, because we all know that a lot of men struggle with this very thing, because men haven't always been encouraged to be in touch with their feelings. And I know we're talking about Women's Month, however.
No, there's 2 of us, and I think it's so important for us to go beyond. We're talking about women because women still need to be spoken about, to be recognized and given that, equal voice. But I see many men who come to me, and they're really damaged by this notion of toxic masculinity. And we all have within us this masculine and feminine energy, and it's so important for men who absolutely crave the ability to be able to have these so-called soft skills, where they are able to communicate and connect and be vulnerable and feel masculine and feminine doing that. I think it's what happens is, and men are so much part of women. I think, women are important, but, men being in touch with their feminine selves, that balance would create total wholeness, and us also being in touch with our masculine selves. It's when there's an imbalance, right? Things go wrong.
Agreed. I completely agree. Anna and I were just talking about this. This is something that I really feel strongly about and want to bring to the table. But first, I want to welcome everyone who's tuning in and watching us on Facebook, on YouTube, on Instagram. We're so grateful to have you here. Hello, LinkedIn as well. Please tune in. This is a very powerful topic and discussion, as we are talking about relationships and connection, and how relationships and connection are really the most powerful source that we have. Human connection, what are we without it? right? We know time and time again, there's been multiple studies on happiness, multiple studies on connection, on relationship, even on energy.
Mm-hmm.
And it always leads back to the depths of relationship and connection we have amongst each other as human beings. And so I'm super excited to be diving into this conversation with such incredible experts here, Sara, Simone, and Anna. No doubt I am forever grateful because I have all of you here, because you have shown me something that has sparked energy in me, and a connection that we built when we met is
Mm-hmm.
something that I want to keep forever in my life. And the one thing I will say that I have learned through being in business over many, many, many years, that I'm super grateful. I have a lot of the same people in business with me today that were in business with me in 2009, 2007, many, many years ago. And that's because the culture that I chose to surround myself really encouraged connection and showing people that you truly care on a personal level. Of course, there's some along the way that we kindly remove from our life, however, it doesn't come without those positive people who bring us up, who are going to be there to support us. Simone, you spoke a lot about men and women and people standing in their energy. And I do believe what they say about a masculine energy and a feminine energy, and how a woman can truly, we are doing all the things as women, right? We are successful entrepreneurs. We are becoming the voices for those in other parts of the world that are still trying to fight to get their voice. So we're living in a very blessed time in America as women to be able to do all the things we want to do. But the reality of it is, we also do need that masculine energy to step in and to be our rock and to be there for us. And I know through other research studies that we talked about, Simone, that when we do have that masculine energy that we can step out of, because as women, we really weren't created to be in that masculine. We were created to be more in our feminine. And when we are, we can do more. Right? When we are in our feminine, when we have that masculine who steps up and is able to support us and take care of certain things, we can do more in our feminine energy and speak louder. Go ahead.
I think that's put perfectly. I mean, for most, most, I have to be careful what I say now, actually, with regard to gender identity. However, I've done a lot of training in India at ashrams, and for thousands of years, the whole idea of this combining of the masculine and feminine is where we achieve that yogic, that way of life, that balance. We become much more enlightened and able. And I think the real essence of women is being. And what comes from being, really being able to use our intuition, being able to see ourselves, being, at a deep level. And you hit the nail on the head where, yes, we absolutely need the masculine. And, some women are, by nature more masculine than feminine. Still, without that balance, again, the problems will happen. We need the balance. If we are out of whack, out of balance in one area, like I will mention Dr. Drew, who's a very good friend of mine, and Drew is a Jedi. He's just such a supreme human being. And what he has so much is that he has this real blend of masculine and feminine. He's extremely intuitive. My goodness, you hear Drew when he's being authoritative, he can be authoritative. He's a doctor. He survived med school. He swam with the sharks. But that balance is so important. And I think for all of us moving forward, having that masculine energy, which is very much to do with doing, and having the feminine energy of the being is absolutely key for our success. And I think that's what we want to teach others and teach our children as well.
Love that, because it is true. Men also need to be able to be in tuned and communicative with their feelings and recognize and accept, so that they can heal from their own wounds, and we can all show up as healthier beings. So love that. Thank you, Anna. So happy to have you with us today. How are
nice
you?
to see all of you.
Yes.
Thank you for having me.
So I gave a brief introduction of you earlier, but please give us a little introduction of who you are and what you are currently doing in today's world.
Well, I do a lot of things like all of us do. I think in today's world we have to, but I think the bigger idea of that, which I'm finding, is that we have so many different parts to who we are, right? So for me, I have chosen not to ignore those parts at this point in my life. So I have a creative side, I have a business side, I'm a single mother. I love being part of strong females. That's why I'm here with you guys today. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a writer, actress, producer. I'm involved in real estate. I'm a celebrity realtor and designer. And I do a lot of things on a daily basis. I just really put my heart into everything that I do. So sometimes there's a huge learning curve that goes along with it, because I come up against certain personalities that are challenging. And I have learned a lot from those people. They have taught me a lot about myself, especially in the past 5 years since I've been divorced. I've learned the most about myself. I think that it is important for women to stay true to who they are in this lifetime, because we only have one life. And I feel the incredible importance of having strong female friends in my life who have become my family as an integral part of my life. And I could never be here sitting with you or anybody else if it wasn't for having a strong community of women support me through the most challenging years of my life. Thank you.
Oh my gosh, thank you. Well, you know how I feel about you. I absolutely love you. And Anna has been such a profound person in my life, a sister that I had always dreamed of having.
Oh, thank you. Likewise.
Truly, I understand exactly what you were saying, because she has picked me up off of the fetal position a couple times, and said, I understand, but you're okay, and it's time to get up. And we do need good friends like that, supportive friends that are going to hold our hand, but also tell us, get up. Like, you can't stay there.
Right. Look, we're all emotional beings,
Yeah.
and we do have to acknowledge our hurt. And it's okay to feel all of that pain and suffering, because that's how we grow. Look, Simone, how did I meet you? Why don't you tell everybody how I met you?
Anna and I met when I was hosting a couple show with Dr. Drew, and I counseled, coached Anna and her now ex.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
We were in a really bad place at that time.
Yeah.
And look, I think that nobody goes into a marriage thinking they're ever going to get divorced. Because I know that I didn't. My heart did not. I would never marry somebody I did not love. I do not care about money. I would never marry somebody for money. I would only marry somebody if I felt connected to them. And at that moment in time, I did feel connected. But the reality of a marriage is that it is a relationship and it's also a business because there's a contract involved. And you have to really, really understand whom it is you're marrying and what their values are. And I'm not a therapist. I do have a background in art therapy. That's what I went to college for, but that's different. I understand now that if you do not share the same core values, the likelihood of that relationship surviving long term is not good. So I did not understand that at the time that I did marry my now ex-husband, but I do understand it now moving forward. So I am much more cautious. So I don't know how you ladies feel about it. You could.
It's really interesting. It's really interesting what you say, Anna. And I think this is something that I wish that women were taught, and I need to get in touch with the Hallmark Channel, which I'm addicted to.
I think I could have that happen, but go ahead.
where they show, you know, wonderful rom-coms, and we need, as part of the narrative, the introduction that marriage is a contract. It is a business contract. No, I didn't realize that until I was on my divorce, you know, in divorce, going, oh my gosh, I now understand how this is such a business contract. It's so important to teach maybe men as well, but especially women, that, you know, where we don't necessarily get taught this at schools. This is key. This is key.
It's legal. It's a legal binding contract. And I know sometimes that when you discuss anything that has to do with legalities, it's very overwhelming. And some people often say that they don't care about a prenup, or they don't care about talking about it because it spoils the love or it dampers the relationship. But the reality is, if you don't discuss it ahead of time, it's going to be much worse later. So you have to truly be informed before you sign that agreement.
Which means that women, and Sarah, you will know this, Rachel, you're working on this, which means that women have to continue to find their voice, right? And navigate the business world, even if it is in a partnership.
Simone, there's something so fascinating. We've been talking today, right? There was that statistic about so many people don't feel supported by their partner, whatever gender anyone identifies with. And we know that, again, your success and longevity and happiness and finances, everything rise to the level of your relationships or sink to them, Rachel, as you started us off, right? And what I think is so fascinating is the idea. There was a gentleman who was a coach, and he was working with this client on his business. And the man was coming in just being like, I want to make more money. I want to make more money. And he said, how's your marriage? Because he just got this intuitive feeling about the and he's like, yeah, not great right now because I'm working all the time. And he said, here's what I want you to do. For 30 days, I just want you to focus on truly showing up in your marriage in a really, like, the way you would in your business, making it a huge priority, focus attention. And he transformed his relationship, but he made twice as much money the next month because they are linked. It's not separate. And that idea that I have my merit or my partnership and then my personal life, my professional life, there is I don't believe that there is. I think everything is connected. And if we've got contracted energy or out of integrity in something and we clean that up, that's going to improve the other area, whether it's in the business side of life or the personal. So that really took that to heart. And I'm going into 23 years of marriage next month. So it's, a long relationship. And it has been an evolution, and we're not the same people we were. And so can we, like we talked about, again, our relationships will make or break us. And is this someone who's willing to grow? It's a business contract. And are we willing to become new people together? Because there were moments in my husband's downstairs, he would admit, it's like, are we going to, are we okay with that? Are we going to reinvent when we need to reinvent? And it's tricky stuff. And sometimes that's not the right choice.
Yeah. I love that point, Sarah. It's so, so true. I'm going to go ahead and call them out because I think that they are such a beautiful example. Andy Elliott and his wife you know, they share from stage all the time the hardship that they went through and where they were on the verge of divorce, and they were on the verge of bankruptcy and all the things. And he had been so successful, but he wasn't present. And his wife said, I'm done. Like, I don't want to be married to someone and still be alone. And I don't want my children to have a dad that's here but not here. And when someone slapped him in the face and said, focus on your marriage for 30 days, now look at them. I mean, he's one of the two of them together now speak on stage. They have grown that relationship and intertwined their lives to be together, which, like you said, Sara, it all bleeds into each other. There's a reason why when we are struggling in our marriage, or we're struggling in something in our personal life, we cannot get to that next level of success in our business. It all intertwines within us. So a lot of times when I work with people, or this is the way I was taught when I studied business psychology, is really some of the most successful people who will show up and say, I don't understand why I'm not getting to this level. You have to really dig deep and peel back some layers to understand that everything that you're going through in your personal life will block you from achieving that next level of success in your business if you're not taking care of your personal life. Because our brain and our inner being doesn't really consciously recognize the difference, right? When we put love and passion into our work, we're supposed to also be putting love and passion into our relationships, into our friendships, into ourselves. And if one of those is missing, something's not going to work. We're not going to be able to continue growing. And so I wholeheartedly agree with you on that note of learning that we, in our relationships, in our marriage, need to be able to work and grow together. I forget, there was a movie one time where they said it's about finding that one person and making it work. And part of that making it work is going through the challenges and growing together, understanding, because we all shift and change through life, right? Things happen and we're all going to go through, well, in the entrepreneurial world, in the business world, for those of us with these kind of mindset, we are achieving and striving for more in our lives. So inevitably we're going to grow. And if one person starts growing and the other person doesn't grow with them, it's going to be an unbalance, like you said, Simone, and therefore unhealthy. It takes two healthy people to have a healthy relationship and marriage. And so always continuing to work together and grow, I think, is super important, like all of you have said. But surrounding ourselves with powerful women who are doing so many great things for the world is truly something that's super important, I think, in today's world more than ever. And I know there's people tuning in from Africa, from Afghanistan, all over the world. And so I want each of us to give them just a short message that we want to say to those women who are in some of the parts of the world that maybe don't always have as loud of a voice as what we have the ability to have here in America. So I'll start with you, Anna. What would you like to say to some of the women in the other side of the world that are listening in today?
That is something that is super important to discuss, Rachel, because I have been through so much. We could be here for hours. And the most important advice I could most likely give someone is to be brave. Be brave and move forward in your own truth, because only you know what you've been through. Only you know your journey, your struggles, and where it is that you've dreamed of going. And you're the only one that can wake up every morning and put your feet on the ground and say, I'm doing this. Let's go. So be brave about what it is that you want. As it says in the Bible, ask and you shall receive is my motto, because nobody knows what it is, what you want, unless you tell them. Tell people what it is that you want, because maybe, just maybe, they'll help you. Like you're all here today. I would help any of you if you needed something, if it was in my capability. If God gives me the opportunity to help someone, I have a choice on whether or not I'm going to help them. And if I can, I will. So never be afraid to ask for what you want, and wake up every day and be truthful to yourself and listen to your heart and listen to the spirit inside you and move forward in your truth to go where it is that you've always dreamed of going, because it is possible. Anything is possible. You have the strength to do it.
Love that. So, so good. Thank you so much.
You're so
Sara,
welcome.
I would love to hear the message that you would like to share for those women listening and tuning in.
I'm so honored to be in a global sisterhood with you. For everyone on this live stream today, I'm so incredibly honored to be in global sisterhood, and I feel it. And so the Brene Brown, I think, was the one that said the four most important words in any language are "you are not alone." And so I think we're talking about our voice, and we're talking about our message. And so knowing that we are a global sisterhood, that we are doing the work together to rise, right? That's a word that's important to me, to rise. And the research around our worthiness, our own sense of worthiness, and using our voice and our power, and then our ability to impact and lead and thrive is so strongly linked. And so it's the work I'm doing, and I'm honored to do it with all of you here today. I made a vow to break the cycles of unworthiness and sort of limitation, poverty thinking off my family. I felt really called to do that. And so my it's not advice, it's a humble acknowledgement that we're all in this together, and we get to do it together. And because of the internet and those of you, generosity of the Los Angeles Tribune having us here today, let's do that work together and know our worthiness, even if we have to fake it because we've been told a lot of lies and a lot of misinformation, that we can own the fact that, what if I walked around today that I do matter, that my voice is important, that I'm here for a reason. And then let's live from that place, because we're unstoppable at that point.
I love that. So, so true. Such words of wisdom, because we truly are not alone. And there are ways, like Los Angeles Tribune is consistently showing up. Part of what has made me fall in love with this outlet is the way that they are bringing so many incredible thought leaders on a consistent basis to pour in to people for free. Pouring in, sharing words of wisdom, giving encouragement for the voices that aren't able to be spoken, right? So we're speaking for you. We hear you. We see you. We love you. We want you to be involved in what we're doing. So such great words, Sara. And yes, thank you so much to the Los Angeles Tribune for consistently giving us a platform to continue to make a positive impact on the world. Simone, what is your message?
I would say to anyone watching around the world, these incredible young women, go and continue to learn to educate yourself. Where education, there, are countries where, women aren't allowed to be educated in the same way as men. Go and read, watch movies, see these incredible women that, Anna and Sara and Rachel have been talking about. Read their stories. Discover, I love that quote from Brené Brown, discover you are not alone. You are in this together. Because when we learn, what happens is we expand our mind. We give ourselves that credibility to be able to stand side by side with fellow men. And I think that's is absolutely key. And I just think the more we learn, the more we grow, and we need you. We need you in this world. We need your voice. So enjoy learning and enjoy being inspired by incredible women who've walked before you and who are walking alongside you as well.
I absolutely love that. It's so, so true. Educating ourselves is such a key, and the accessibility that we have to continue to learn allows us the affordability to grow. And when we, especially when we take what we're learning and we implement, right? We go and we start to take action, because I know all of us here on this screen, all four of us have recently within the last year gone through some significant challenges and hardships. And I'm going to touch upon that just really briefly, because I think a lot of times we show up on camera, sharing on social media, giving our highlight reel, showing up in the press, announcing we're authors, announcing we've got another film or a new TV show we're starting, or all the different things that we are doing. And we forget, those watching, we forget to mention some of the things that have really brought us to our knees throughout this process. And so while we're talking about being real and authentic, I think a part of empowering other women and sharing with them that they're not alone is being truthful and authentic, and speaking up and saying, listen, it's not easy every day to show up and get on camera. It's not every day that I am able to jump out from underneath the covers and say, today I'm going to write this for my next book, or today I'm going to show up and I'm going to film the next episode of our podcast or our TV show, or whatever the case may be. Today, although we put a smile on our face when our group shows up that we mentor or we coach, sometimes right before that group comes on, we really are having anxiety. The reality of it is we put that lipstick on and we show up with a smile on our face, but we're practicing just seconds before. Mel Robbins, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, move. Like, you cannot sit still. You have to move. And so part of this whole conversation and empowering women to have a voice, to build and cultivate relationships. Listen, it's not always easy, but you have 4 people, and I know you have the Los Angeles Tribune, you have Ava, you have so many people behind you, supporting you, that you might not have even met yet. We are showing up here because we care. We love others. We want to encourage those that are sitting back and struggling to count backwards, right? They're struggling, because I know that I have been there. The last year has tried me in ways that I did not know that I would get up. But that is when it's really important to start taking those small steps to, number 1, educate ourselves. Number 2, surround ourselves with empowerment, surround ourselves with women, follow people like Sara on social media, follow people like Simone and Anna and myself on social media. Listen to the different things that we're doing, the things that we're sharing, the tips that we're giving. Reach out to us. Allow us to be a support person for you. Allow us to encourage you, because there are moments that it's not always easy. We don't just show up every day on our A game, because life does happen. Hardship happens. Business challenges happen. Sara has a beautiful, lovely marriage of 23 years, but I bet not every day does she wake up and she's able, but that's part of work, right? That's part of growing. And even within ourselves, I want to encourage everyone to know, once again, you are worth it. You are enough. You and only you, as a woman, no matter where you are in the world, you are here for a purpose. and really stepping into that purpose by taking small steps forward each day until you recognize, and sometimes it takes time to recognize what our purpose is. Sometimes our purpose evolves. As we grow, our vision grows. As we grow, our purpose grows. So I want to encourage everyone to make sure that when they're hearing all of these tips, and they're hearing all the things that we have going on and doing, that we encourage each of you to understand that it wasn't a cakewalk for us. We didn't start with, a wealthy family that just said, here, go, follow your dreams. Like, that's not how it really works. Like, there's even this past week, there were moments where I called Anna and I said, I am just really struggling. And I'm being really vulnerable and authentic with you guys in sharing this, because there's moments when even I will say, I can't even post on social media. Like, I don't even have it in me. Almost that imposter syndrome. So it's a continual, I know that I'm worthy of it. I know that I have a voice. I know that I'm being selfish by not sharing my knowledge and my passion to others, so that those people that need to hear my story or my message or my mission for that day can hear it. So it's selfish of me for not showing up. So I just want to encourage everyone to understand that we all have hard days, but we have chosen, it's all perspective in life, right? We have chosen that growth path. We've chosen, when we can't figure something out, to start educating ourselves, to try to learn. There's many free resources to start following. If you don't have those 5 optimistic, powerful women in your life that are surrounded right next to you, go find 5 online and follow them every single day. Listen to what they're doing. Go back through their social media for the last year and a half and say, oh my gosh, this, and this, and you will start to feel uplifted. I can assure you. And if you're not following the right person. So go find someone else, because not everyone will align and click with you, right? We can give the message of Brené Brown 100 times, or 100 different people can give the same message, right? But sometimes it's just that one person, in the way that they say it, and the way that the words come out of their mouth so fluently that it makes sense and aligns with us in that moment. It might be timing. It might be the way that they said it. It might be just wherever you are in that space. So I just want to encourage you, if you don't have those 5 people, go find them. And if you do have those 5 people, go find 5 more. So thank you all. Thank you so much, Los Angeles Tribune. Thank you, Ava, for this incredible opportunity. If it wasn't for you and the relationship that I built with you through our dear friend Mo Rock, who we love and adore, who does a great job of being that masculine man who empowers and encourages and supports women, none of us would be here today. So thank you, Mo, and thank you, Los Angeles Tribune.
Well, thank you so much, ladies. Wow, my heart was so moved by the authenticity. Very, very rarely do you hear the backstory of the highlight reels, right? So for you ladies to really tell the story is so empowering. Sara, thank you so much. Anna, thank you. Simone, thank you. From the whole Los Angeles Tribune team, our dream, our ambition is pretty big for the month of March. We wanted to honor women every day, for the whole month of March, especially the women that we've got foremothers who have won for us. One of the things that I say is, they always say that if you don't know your rights, you don't have any, right? And from the advices that you gave today, being aware, having the right influences, having the right people backing you up, knowing that you have the right that has already been won for us, and standing in that and not waiting for permission is so important. But ladies, as I have you, it is such an honor. You have so much comments. I didn't want to keep putting them up because it's going to bring your faces up and down the screen and your names up and down, but you can go back to all of the comments later on and engage in the audience. They're so moved, so touched with the conversation. But let me take the opportunity. We're going to close soon, but I want to take the opportunity while you're all here to honor Rachel. I want to honor Rachel with the Luminary Legacy Award from the Los Angeles Tribune. Yes, this Luminary Legacy Award for Women in Media and Philanthropy is a prestigious accolade designed to honor and recognize the exceptional contributions of women from earlier generations who have paved the way in media, philanthropy, and social impact. So I just wanted to let you know, Rachel, that coming from the torch that was passed on to us. You are carrying that brightly, and thank you for being that bright luminary connector of women, empowering women and men, even in like TEDx stages, emceeing. Like, you bring your talents. And oh my gosh, Rachel, you can let us know when you're struggling. I think all of us would love on her. You're the one person that loves on everybody, that generously gives, that who's always on, and others. So please know that, that we're here for you, especially I speak on behalf of Mo. We're here for you. We've got congratulations, being typed also on the chat. So Rachel, your acceptance speech, what does it feel like to have your Luminary Award? Like, and I also would love to have your friends that you invited maybe give a word for what their experience is of you to honor you. And of course, this is a surprise, so you don't know it and she doesn't. I'm probably putting you also on the spot, but I know you wouldn't run out of great words to speak about Rachel. So
can I go first?
Yes.
Oh, so I met Rachel about 1.5 years ago, and I will never forget the moment that we met. She was standing across from me, and I just looked in her eyes and I said to myself, oh my God, who is this stunning woman? She doesn't know it yet, but we are going to be friends. And I am so grateful for that time when we met, because here we are today. And from that event that we met through, Aoife actually is the one who reconnected us, whom I love and adore as well, whom you know. I just have never let go of her energy, her impression on me. We connected instantly. We are both Aquarian women. We were both married. We're both single mothers. We're both in entertainment and real estate and growing businesses together in the media and doing good for other people, helping contribute to the world to make it a better place, helping other people achieve our dreams. We have a common mission. We have a sacred spiritual bond. I believe we must have been sisters in a past life, and now we are sisters again in this life. And I am just so eternally grateful for her love, her support, her never-ending ear that she listens to me about all the things that I've been through and tried to overcome. And I look forward to sharing the rest of my life with her.
Yeah.
So good. Thank you so much.
If we're not all crying, right?
Sara,
Rachel, yeah, I would love to. I am so thrilled. Congratulations on this amazing award. And it's so well deserved. And what I know about Rachel instantly is, like, if we were giving names, if someone had to have a quality as their name, your name would be generosity. You are the embodiment of generosity and feminine leadership that is such a refreshing, beautiful force on this planet. And when we first met, you said something about, I just had to go into PR because I needed to bring integrity to a landscape where it was sorely lacking. And first of all, that is so true. And I knew in that moment you were the real deal. I knew that you meant it. And what I will say to what really comes to me is the idea that Rachel's someone who doesn't do the easy thing. She does the right thing. And that makes all the difference. So congratulations, Rachel.
Thank you so much, Sara.
And
Simone.
Thank you, Ava. Thank you. Rachel, it's so perfect today that we're talking about relationships and connections and being a connector, because Rachel to me is somebody that just has that dialed down, dialed in. She's so switched on in her heart, in her mind, in her very being, and she shares that with us. And I feel so privileged and humbled to be around Rachel when I hear her, you know, in private conversations talking with her children. And how she models, you know, and how she's such a model for them. She's an incredible woman, and well done, the wonderful Los Angeles Tribune, for honoring that. I think it's a real privilege to be here. So thank you.
And
Rachel,
Simone and Sara, you know, thank you so much for the generosity that you have given, you know, for us in the Los Angeles Tribune, to our audience, to everyone who will watch the recordings and the reels that come after this, and for honoring Rachel with us. And Rachel, with that, you know what's coming. We're going to give you the stage.
Well, okay. I have to talk without crying. So I had no idea that was even remotely a possibility. So thank you so very much to the Los Angeles Tribune, to you, Ava, to, of course, to Mo. And I, you know, I'm so forever grateful for this award. It doesn't even feel like it's something like, are we talking about me? But no, the reality of it is I have really been intentional with my relationships, and really my heart has always been to make a positive impact and give and serve in as big of a way as I possibly can. And so when we talk about relationships and connections, each of you on this screen today, we're strategically placed in my life, I believe, for a very good reason. And I invited you specifically, and only you. The ones that I invited are here. And I'm so, that is the universe saying you are exactly where you are trying to align yourself. And so I cannot begin to say thank you enough to each and every one of you. I love you dearly. You have no idea. Even though Sara, I just instantly was like, I'm going to know her really well. Just like Anna said when we first met, I was like, no, there is a reason she's here and I'm here, and I am going to nurture that until it's so big that there's no stopping, to the point where at the event that we met, I said, we need to take a picture together so we have it, because we're doing something. We're doing something together. So, Simone, you know, we are creating something really big for women who need it out there. Anna, our television show that's being created or has already started, it's just the beginning. Sara, what we have to move forward is just going to be so profound. I already know, just like you said, we are changing different things in PR, but we're giving people the opportunity to have a stage and a platform to share their voice, which is something that is so critical and so important with everything we are embodying here on this stage for this particular Women's Month. But Ava, it's just the beginning for you as well. You know, I've had several conversations with Mo, and I'm definitely diving deep into my relationship with Los Angeles Tribune, because they are the example of integrity. And in PR world, we struggle with that. And so I'm so grateful, because they're very focused on sharing purpose-driven news, which is what aligns me, and which is also what made me exit journalism in the beginning, because it's not in alignment with integrity. You know, the news is not always exactly as it seems. So when I stepped away and I found this outlet as well as some others, I just said I want to do it the right way. And so I'm so honored and grateful, and I'm literally am fighting back the tears right now because everything you guys said will never be forgotten. I'm somebody who has a photogenic memory with words. So I will tell you, the words that you spoke to me have gone right here to my heart, and I love you dearly, and I love you, Ava. Thank you
Thank you so much. And to our audience, you know, we thank you. This is just the beginning. This is day 2 of 31 days. And Sara, Anna, you know, Simone, we will invite you again, of course. You know, we just fell in love with, I mean, I was behind the screen and our team are like just messaging, oh my God, I can't believe these women, they're so amazing. You know, we're like fangirling in the back of the scene. So just thank you so much. And let's continue to honor women and continue to honor the men, you know, alongside us. It's not about us being better or being the better gender, but it's us playing together. You know, it requires women and the feminine energy to show up for balance. And that's what actually our CEO, Morak, was commenting a while ago in congratulating Rachel. You know, Mo said that, oh, I lost that. There were so many comments and already that came in after that. Oh my God, lots of comments. I couldn't find where the last comment was. But Mo was saying that you're the perfect balance of feminine and masculine. And congratulations, Rachel. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, because we also have men watching, you know, this is day 2 of the 31 days of honoring women. Sara, Anna, Simone, Rachel, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And with that, you know, we're going to go with the words that came very most often among all of you. You are not alone. You are not alone.
Thank you.
Welcome to a celebration at the precipice of time, where the power of women knows no bounds. Experience her story unfolding, a reawakening of our collective consciousness to the monumental achievements of our foremothers, a tribute to the battles they fought, rights they've secured, and paths they've paved that women all over the world are continuing to navigate and expand upon. Her stories are unfolding, empowering growing, building legacies of pioneering women by sharing their stories, celebrating their accomplishments, and embracing the rights and privileges they've bestowed to us for generations to come.